Alright guys, let's get right into this. I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown of my little soft plastic setup here. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to do a quick run from left to right, and then I'm going to go through and show you guys in a little more detail of what I have here. And we're going to start over here. This is my Blastoise. This is from Hellgrammite. I have a gallon jug. I have some softener, some hardener, and some heat stabilizer. This stuff is actually a couple of years old. I bought this a couple of years ago because I was working on a different project that turned out to be a disaster. I had carved a little jerk bait and I had made a mold and I did some pouring and it just came out looking like garbage. I didn't spend a lot of time on this. This was kind of just a one-day project, and I decided to abandon ship because I was also working on making some spinner baits, and I use these way more than I do soft plastics. So I decided to put most of my time into refining my spinnerbait process. And now I'm heading back into the soft plastic world, but I'm going to be going the injection route. I'll show you my molds here in just a minute. This is a do-it mold dual injector, so I can shoot two different colors, or I can take this apart and just shoot one color. And these are the Lure Works scents. I have the crawfish and the anise oil scent. And these dyes are also from Hellgrammite. I bought these when I bought my Blastoise last time. This is Lure Works glitter. And I have most of the basic colors. I have some black, I have some pink, silver, golden orange, purple. I have some light gold, real small pink, 0.015, and some copper. So just some basic glitters that I'll put into most of my baits. Alright, before we move on to the molds, I just want to say real quick, I did do a little bit of pouring yesterday. Everything came in at different times, really slow shipping rates because of the COVID pandemic. So everything came in at different times, and I didn't want to wait for some of the smaller stuff to show up. So I did do some pouring yesterday, so I'm kind of filming this video in reverse. But let's get into the molds. I'll show you guys the molds. These are from Fat Guys Fishing. I found him online. I did a ton of research. I did a ton of looking around at different molds, and this is the guy I landed on. I liked his molds. I liked the prices. He was quick to respond to some of my questions. And this is a 5-inch Fluke mold. Side injection there. And we have the hook slot groove. I don't know if that's picking up. So just like on most of the factory Flukes, you're going to have a hook slot with this one. And the top of the bait has this nice ridges, which I really like. Pretty good fine detail. And this bait shot really well yesterday. One of my favorite lures up here in Maine when I bass fish is the 5-inch Fluke. Alright, so moving on. This is a 3-inch mini Fluke. This does not have a hook slot. And I got this one because I want this one to be a combo bait. This is going to be used for crappie, and it's also going to be used for trout. I'm going to use this on a jig head on some of the rivers here in my area, and I think that's going to work pretty good for both crappie and trout. And again, these are all injection. None of these are hand pour. Okay, moving on. This is probably my favorite mold. This is a 3-inch Hellgrammite mold. Looks pretty good. Pours pretty well. Look at that mold. Doesn't that look killer? This is probably my favorite mold of the bunch. It pours good. It looks really good. And again, this is going to be kind of a combo. This is going to be a bass lure, and this is also going to be a trout lure for up in them same rivers I was talking about. We have a bunch of bugs that crawl around on the bottom of the river that look really close to this. So I think this is going to be a good combo lure. And the last one is a 4 1/4 inch creature bait. He calls it a craw bug. This is an 8-cavity. This is an 8-cavity creature bait. Looks really good. This mold was probably the more difficult one to pour just because it's so big. I tried pouring it with a single tube, and I had to shoot it a few times, and I tried it double. And I didn't get complete pours with some of these legs, and some of the tails didn't pour. But it looks good, the ones that do pour, so I do have a little bit of fine-tuning to do on this one. But overall, I think it's going to be a really good bait once I get it dialed in. Alright, just real quick, I'm going to show you guys some of the finished products of these. This is the 3-inch mini Fluke. This is going to be the combo crappie and trout lure. I think it's going to work pretty good. It comes out good, nice and clean, looks really good. I think this one's going to work well. And this is the 5-inch Fluke. Again, came out pretty good, pretty clean. I do have some fine tuning I have to do on all this stuff, but you see them ridges there. I like the detail. I think this is going to be a really good bait. 5-inch Fluke is one of my favorites up here in Maine. It's a very universal, versatile bait. Let's check out the craw bug. Alright, here's one of the craw bugs. This is one of my better pours. This is towards the tail end of my first pouring session yesterday. It's sort of on the green pumpkin side, and you see the appendages poured on this one. Most of my pours, I didn't get full appendage pours. Certainly not the mold's fault, it's more my fault. But I think this is just going to be an overall good bait. I like to fish creature baits, and I think this one's going to be pretty versatile. It has them same ridges that the Fluke does. And if you look at the tail here, you can see it has that ridge. These are supposed to catch the water and have a pretty good kick in action as it's moving through the water. But there's the 4.25 inch craw bug. Alright, and my favorite is that 3-inch Hellgrammite. This thing is going to be killer up here in Maine. This thing is going to work really well. We have a bunch of bugs that run around on the bottom of our rivers and our ponds, and they look very close to this. And I think it's just going to be a good overall bait. This is that same green pumpkin color. And I think it's just going to be a good overall universal bait for bass. And I'm hoping that trout will be interested in this too. And that's pretty much the basics of it, guys. I don't have a good setup yet. Yesterday I poured outside, which works good on good days, but I don't know if I want to pour inside. I'm going to have to do some searching around and check the internet and see what other people do. But that's the basics of it. Going back to my dyes real quick, I didn't get into these much. I have pretty much all the standard colors: black, white, orange, green, blue, brown, violet, red, yellow, fluorescent green, fluorescent orange, fluorescent yellow. Oh, sorry, that was fluorescent red. And this is fluorescent orange. So I'll be able to do a bunch with these here. These are little 1-ounce containers, but a little goes a long way. So I'll be using these probably for a couple of years, I would assume. And I think that's pretty much it, guys. That's my basic setup. And I forgot to mention that I have some bags to package everything in. I wanted to keep everything nice and neat and clean. And that's basically it, guys. That's a quick rundown of all my stuff. Stay tuned. I'll be posting my first injection session here in the next video or two, so keep an eye out for that. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.